Today on The Joy of Editing, I want to show you how to work with enhancements using the latest update for Topaz Photo AI version 2.4. Stay tuned. Today on The Joy of Editing, I want to show you how to work with enhancements using the latest update for Topaz Photo AI because I think there can be some confusion here when adding enhancements, and I want to clear that up. So let's get started. I'm working out of Photoshop today using Topaz Photo AI as a plugin. However, what I'm going to show you today holds true if you're using it as a standalone app or working from Lightroom or any way you may be using it. I was hoping there'd be a new update this week for Photo AI. We haven't received one yet, but I'm sure on the next update we're going to see some fixes and some changes because I'm sure all of you out there would like to see some things changed and improved with this new update, as well as I do. Let's get started. Now you'll notice I have duplicated my background layer. I'm calling this one Topaz Photo AI. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can really see. I have a lot of noise in this image, a lot of color noise, just a lot of regular noise. It could stand to be sharpened up in the center area right here where the B is. So I'm going to take care of that with Topaz Photo AI. I'll be using multiple enhancements. I'll even add some lighting just to the center of this sunflower. We have two different ways of launching Topaz Photo AI. You could come up to Filter and go to Topaz Labs, and you're going to find Photo AI in here. And then we can also come up to the File menu in Photoshop, click on that, come down to Automate, and you're going to find Topaz Photo AI in here. You'd want to use Automate when you want to do things like upscaling and cropping. You can't do that with the plugin version of Photo AI, but you can with Automate. But today I'll be using the plugin. So let's click on Filter, and we're going to come down, and we're going to click on Topaz Photo AI. We'll launch it, and we'll get started. Now you'll notice it's running autopilot. It's removed noise, and it has sharpened. Or has it really sharpened? Because if you'll look, if I click on Sharpen and click on Selection, we click on Selection for masking, you'll notice Auto Mask is set to none. Even though when I click on Controls, you can see there has been sharpening added, it really hasn't, because when I click on Selection, nothing is selected. Now, this is something I think that really needs changed. I would think it should be defaulted at all. Now, you'll notice when you click this drop down for Auto Mask, you have all, subject, background, portrait, landscape, sky, or none. And by default, with this latest update, it is set for none, which I don't think is a good idea. It should be set for all. I'll leave this alone for now because what I want to do is come up and click on Remove Noise. Now, right now, Remove Noise, if I click on Selection, it is set for all. But for this image, I only want to remove noise from the background and not from the center of the flower, which will be the subject. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll click on the Auto Mask drop down and change this to background. And now you'll notice it's only getting the background area. It's leaving out the center portion because I want to remove noise differently from here, as well as sharpening the image only in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Controls and leave everything set up just the way it is. And now I want you to notice something, and this is very important. Whenever you click on, let's call these layers. Whenever you click on one of these layers, everything below it gets shut off. So that's kind of important because if you don't click Done, this will never sharpen. Any enhancement that you add below Remove Noise, that first layer, will not get any of the effect added to it. So that's kind of important. So I would highly recommend after you make an adjustment, click Done. And now notice it's going to go ahead and sharpen the image as well as remove the noise. So that's important. Now it takes a little bit of time here. Some have said it's a little bit on the slow side. Yeah, I think it could be a little bit faster, and hopefully they can improve that. It's not too bad, but hopefully they'll be able to improve it. I'm going to come down to the bottom of the interface and click right here, and let's go into 200% so we can really see this. Let's see how good of a job it's done. See, it's done a really good job with removing that noise. Now, if we look in this area here, we can see there's no noise removed here in the center, which is the subject, and it's not sharpened. It's really not sharpened because if I click on Sharpen, you'll notice Auto Mask again is set for none. I don't know why that's the case, but here's what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and click this drop-down menu, and I'll click Subject. Now it'll select our subject. And now let's go back to the controls. I'm going to go ahead and take these autopilot settings here, except for minor denoise. I'm going to take minor denoise and shut it off because I want to add another remove noise layer. So there's really no need for minor denoise. So let me come up and click Add Enhancement, and I'll click Remove Noise. And now I have a new remove noise layer. We can see this area has been sharpened and it looks really good. Now these pedals here are in the background. They're getting twice the noise reduction, which I don't want. I only want the noise reduction in the center here. All I need to do is click on Selection, and now Auto Mask, click the drop down and click on Subject. And now we're only applying that to the subject, which is the center of the flower. So let's click on Controls, and now we can see there's my noise removal, and you can see the sharpen layer has sharpened this area because I've only selected this area when I made the mask for the sharpen enhancement. I'm set up for strong noise reduction. Now I could change this to normal if I wanted to, or here's what I think I'm going to do. You see this original detail slider? I'm going to take this slider and drag it to the right and bring back some of that original detail. And now you notice that looks a lot better. I brought back some original detail. It may have pulled up the noise slightly, but I think it looks good for this image. The first remove noise layer is removing noise from the background. Sharpen is only sharpening the center or the subject of this image, and this remove noise layer is only removing noise from the subject. And also you notice I pulled up the original detail here. So it's a different setting than this remove noise layer. Now, as I said, very important to click Done or click on the layer itself to remove this panel, or I could click Add Enhancement to add a new enhancement. But it's very important because if a panel is showing, there's a good possibility that one of these layers may not be active, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. But first off, let me go ahead and come down here and click on Fit to Screen because I want to adjust the lighting only on the center of this sunflower. And now I'll click on Add Enhancement, and you notice we get this new panel opens up where we can add a new enhancement. Now, I do want to point this out. If you're working with a RAW file, you're unable to use Adjust Lighting or Balance Color. They're not available for RAW files. Now, that may change in the future, but I kind of doubt it. There's probably a reason you can't use those adjustments on RAW files. But I want to use Adjust Lighting on this image. So let me click Adjust Lighting. And now the Adjust Lighting panel opens up, and it defaults at a strength of 25. And now you can see that effect has been applied to the entire image because if I click on Selection, you'll notice it's set for all. But I'm going to click on the Auto Mask drop-down and change it to Subject. And now let's go back to Control. So now it's only going to add that to the subject, but that's way too light. And as I said, this defaults at 25. So if I drag this slider to the left, I can darken it up. You see that? Now, when I get to 0, it's as if no lighting has been added. Now, if I want to see a before and after this image, if I left click with my mouse and hold, there's the before and there is the after. But you can see the lighting has not changed. But I want a little bit of lightness in that center, so I'm going to take this slider and start to drag it to the right. By the way, once you hit 0, if I start to drag this slider to the left, I'll be darkening my subject rather than lighting it. Just wanted to point that out. But I'm going to come up. Here is 0 right here, and I'll just move it up a little bit to the right, maybe to like a 7. Now let me left click and hold. Here's before and here's after, but you can see that's lit up a little bit, drawing our eyes to the center of this image because I want you to notice this bee on this sunflower. Now again, remember this is so important or you may be upset with your final result. You need to close this panel by clicking Done or clicking on Adjust Lighting or clicking Add Enhancement to add a new enhancement. I'm going to click on Done and you'll notice the panel gets closed. That's so important because all of these effects are added to this image right now. But let's say I'm going to readjust my sharpening on this layer. If I click on Sharpen, notice that the 2 layers below it are now shut off. See the eye with the line going through there and they're grayed out? That means they're not getting an adjustment. And say I readjust this and I say, oh, I'm good, and I forget to click Done, but click Save to Adobe Photoshop. It will get saved with only Remove Noise and Sharpen. That is it. These other 2 layers will not be included in that save. So what you need to do is, after you readjust one of these layers, you must click Done. And now you'll notice these layers turn back on. So that's so critical that you do that. And that's really why I'm making this video, to show you. I love the fact that we can work with multiple enhancements. I think this is a great improvement to Topaz Photo AI. I'm really excited about it. But there's some things I think they need to add, like the ability to turn these layers on and off. And then also, if I click on one of these layers to make a readjustment and I forget to click done, if I click save to Photoshop, wouldn't it be nice if they gave you a warning? Hey, are you sure you want to keep these other layers turned off? It'd be nice if they'd let you know that. That way you didn't do all this work for nothing. Right now, as it stands, these 3 layers are shut off, so I'll click done, and now they'll get turned back on. And now let me click save to Photoshop, and we'll examine this image. I'll turn off the Topaz Photo AI layer by clicking the eye. Here is the before, and now here is the after. Now let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit so we could take a look around here. So you can see all my noise is gone. Let me shut the Topaz layer off. Here is before. You can see all that noise in there. And here is after. Now let's look at the center of the sunflower. The bee and the center of the sunflower looks great. Let me shut that layer off. Here is before. And now here is after. I love the fact that we can now use multiple enhancements inside of Topaz Photo AI. I can have several different remove noise layers, sharpen layers, selectively sharpen areas of the image. Photo AI still needs some improvements, but this product is getting better and better and better. Well, there it is, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And if you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe. Click that bell notification icon. Click all so that you'll receive all notifications. And then every time I upload a new tutorial, you'll get notified about it. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today on The Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. And I will see you all right here next time. But until then, happy editing.